How are we? Thought I'd just hop on because I wanted to. I've got my little. This is something I carry with me every day. It's like I use it as a wallet. This is my daily in my pocket every day. EDC, I guess, every day carry. But I write all my thoughts, notes, random stuff in here. I've always got this on me, so anything that pops in my head usually ends up in here, and then I can decide later if it's worth exploring. And there's something that I did find worth exploring, and I wanted to possibly give that to somebody who may find even more value in it. And that is the power of the tongue. That you are what you speak. You are what you pretend to be. And I heard this in a podcast I was listening to, and kind of resonated with me. And I think it's so true, and you don't really think about it. But your day and your weeks and your months, your entire life, the life you control, at least that is completely based around your perspective of situation and self. So obviously we have scenarios that we have no control over. Something like a tragic accident, or something like illness, disease, injury, things like this that we can't control, being fired from a job that you may or may not have liked. And I think our perspective of that kind of ties into the idea of the power of the tongue, I guess, by way of what are you saying? What are you speaking into existence about said situation? So at the moment, I'm working a job that I'm not overly in love with. I'm a bricklayer. I don't love it. It's not my passion. But if I go to work every single day and I think, gosh, man, this is going to be such a crap day, that 8 hours is going to feel like 16 hours. You know, you don't want to do that to yourself. Why don't I go into work? Look, I'm here. I'm getting paid. I'm with good people. Have good conversations. Relationships create so much joy, or they can create so much angst. But you have the choice. I know it feels like you don't have the choice. You're going into work, into a job that you chose. But you can choose how you perceive that. And that's a little bit off topic, I guess, but more going into the power of the tongue is what you speak. You know, if you're going in every day saying, oh, I hate my job, I'm miserable, you're going to be miserable. You're speaking that into your own thoughts. Why don't you say, today's going to be a good day? And I know that, you know, it sounds stupid. It sounds dumb. It does, because there's no real merit to what the way I speak is going to affect my perspective. Well, it will. 100% it will. Because the more you're set on a certain thought, and the more you're thinking a certain thing, a certain perspective on a situation, you are bound to start swaying that way. If you're thinking a certain way, if your head's in a certain space, your life will gravitate towards that. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. And then you are what you speak. You are who you pretend to be. This can be positive and negative as well. If you if you are somebody who you're pretending to be, you're not true to yourself. All right, so this is possibly opposing the last point, but I think more so it has to do with the positive meaning, the positive takeaway from it. But if you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, you're going to end up being that person, whether it be for good or for bad. So if I'm pretending that I love my job, hey, I might not convince myself I love it, but it'll be a lot better. It'll be way better than if I just hate it. But then on the flip side, if I enjoy something, you know, like the gym, I love the gym, and if people started ridiculing me for that, and I was pretended, oh, you know, I don't like the gym that much. I'm not that into it. I just go because it's something to do. I'm gonna start losing my true self. I'm gonna start swaying towards what I'm saying. I'm gonna start thinking, do I like the gym? Do I really? Like, I'm saying this stuff, it's kind of, you know, that you're constantly thinking about it. You're trying to conform to this ideal that somebody has. You're gonna end up folding and molding into that kind of precast shape. There's a bit of my trade knowledge coming into it. But yeah, I think something to touch on, something to think about, is the control you think you don't have that you do. You have the power not to change the situation, but to change the perspective. And in a lot of ways, that's better. That's more powerful. Because I've been in situations that are good, and looking back on it from now, looking back at that situation, my perspective on it was negative. But it was a good situation, and vice versa. Like, there's bad situations I've had where I thought, oh, that was pretty rough. But at the time, it didn't seem like that, because my perspective and my approach to the situation wasn't a negative one. And I think that examples like that just show that you have a lot more power in your life over how you feel. And how you feel will directly relate to how you respond. And that will affect your life. So if there's anything you can take away, give yourself that power back of perspective, and give yourself the ability to control how you feel. Don't lend that to others, and don't say things that you aren't true about. Don't say things that aren't true to you, even to yourself. Don't let yourself complain and whinge and moan, because that, more importantly, is where this perspective shift happens. Talk to yourself in a positive manner. Pretend to be who you want to be. Be who you are. That's my takeaway, my take home from this saying, this food for thought, I guess. I've been pondering on that for a little bit. And there's probably a lot more to it. There is a lot more to it. Just scratching the tip of the iceberg. But yeah, give yourself that power back. Take control of your mental thoughts, because that dictates how you feel, and how you feel dictates everything.